Coppélia is a modern adaptation of the traditional ballet, which is about Swanhilda and Franz, who enter in this world of Dr. Coppelius, who is making a doll of a human being. The original story was inspired by a Hoffman tale, which also deals with kind of dolls and artifice and illusion. So it felt like that was a really good crossover for our work, because we're quite interested in illusion and what film can bring to that.
We wanted to work using film on stage and using the technology as a storytelling device. So the fact that that is part of the story felt really like a great jumping off point for us. Back in the late 19th century, this kind of preoccupation with technology and the anxieties around that, it feels really relevant to us because obviously there are a lot of those preoccupations today around AI in particular, data collection, big tech. So the technology has updated itself in a way, but the kind of worry and anxiety and preoccupation around it is still the same.
The character of the sort of doll maker in the original, that felt like quite a rich point to kind of depart from a little bit and blow it up. Back when it was created, it was literally like a carpenter creating a doll with his hands manually. And obviously technology's come a really long way since then. So we were thinking about, you know, what is the modern equivalent and who are the kind of inventors and creators of today. And that drew us to these kind of characters of these tech giants, these crazy personalities.
Normally in Coppélia, Dr. Coppelius is a bit of a frail, pitiable old man. And in this version, he really is a charismatic, powerful, egotistical character who thinks he owns the world, really. Steve Jobs kind of character. He is obsessed with AI and creating the perfect being without any of the kind of human imperfections.
This production uses film as a storytelling device. The audience is watching live capture on stage, so one of the dancers is going to be filming using a camera to capture the live action, and then we're going to be intercutting that with pre-recorded footage as well. So the audience might not know at different points whether they're watching things that are actually happening on stage or whether it's something that has been pre-recorded.
I'm a photographer as well as a dancer. We've worked with Jess and Morgs before, so I kind of knew their style and what they can be looking for. I'll be on stage with the dancers, and there'll be a few different screens on stage. We are creating kind of like a pathway for the camera. I don't think it's really been done before. It really helped being both dancer and photographer. Being a photographer, I know my way around the camera, so I know how it works and all the technical side of it. And then as a dancer, it really helped as well, because I'm basically having to know my pathway as a cameraman, but I also need to know all the dancers' choreography. I'll be right in the middle of them when I'm filming, so I just need to make sure I'm not in their way. It's a matter of knowing what everyone's doing as well as what I'm doing. I think the audience will be really immersed into the piece. You know, they'll be feeling like being a dancer basically, because you'll be watching them on the screens as well as performing right in front of you.
What do they see? Layers of storytelling. We are watching different levels of reality. We want to be able to do a lot of technology, so the room itself needs to be neutral, but at the same time present. It is a very simple white box with some built-in light sources where we do what we call video mapping on top of the three walls. Complex, but in the end it looks like a very simple white box. Simple is a lot of work.
Choreographically, the starting point for us was, as it was in the original choreography for the doll, Swanhilda pretending to be the doll, how do robots work, essentially? How do dolls work? How do robots work? You know, when we're trying to look like a human, what does that look like? In the original, there's a lot of really full, free dancing, and those two things choreographically are a sort of counterpoint. So we've got this flesh and blood, intuitive movement, and then we've got movement that is essentially kind of robotic and very designed. And I suppose those have been our two starting points of how to develop different bits of language within it.
And then we were thinking about like the village, and in the original, there's all these folk dances, which didn't really feel quite right to us. We were thinking, no, what could our version of this village be? So we've got the workers who are all working in the lab, and we started thinking about that in terms of making this really kind of industrious, almost working out physical equations. We like this idea that they're almost describing the physical problem solving with their bodies.
I think they see us in two different lenses. They see us through like a camera lens and through like what they're seeing in real life. That's fascinating because sometimes you're not quite sure what they're wanting. And then you realize afterwards, oh right, that's exactly what they had in mind.
We're really excited about how we marry filmmaking with this idea that it's all happening live. Traditionally in ballet, in order to tell a story, there's a lot of mime and projecting right to the back for people to be able to follow this really quite codified language. What we're really interested in doing is trying to make this a totally different experience in terms of making it much more cinematic. You can place a camera on somebody's face and then just simply the flicker of an eye, a thought or an intention with the camera placed on them in close-up can read so much. What we're really excited about is being able to, amplify that medium for storytelling through film and marrying that with live ballet. It's a constant challenge and it's totally new for us.